Alright, so as someone that's been playing this since the moment that it went live and pretty much considered somewhat endgame, if that even exists in this game, by that pretty much meaning a pet that's over at least 1 million, having a pretty decent amount of potions, including a good amount of cocktails, which that'll be for a little bit later on in the video, but obviously by far the most important thing being pretty much the entire talent tree completed, except for obviously the booth skins and the hoverboard skin. I figured I'd go ahead and make this video just sort of quickly, not really spending too much time on it, to cover all of the things that you should be doing the moment that you start playing this, so that way you don't waste any time and you can go ahead and start focusing on chasing after the huge pets, as well as even some of these extremely rare bad boys over here that really there's under 50 of all of them. So let's focus up here, man, and start with the very first thing, which I'm going to try and go in chronological order here so that way it sort of makes sense. But one of the most important things that you're going to be suffering with at the very start is going to be your coins. And the reason for this is because you're going to need them in order to really unlock a lot of your upgrades, which are going to change the entire game for you. Now, at the very start of the game, when you jump in here, obviously I won't be able to show it to you in my character because I've already completed all of them. But on the right hand side over here, where my lucky potion just kind of popped up, you're going to see a list of quests that'll constantly be popping up there. When I say that it is extremely important, I literally mean it is super duper dire important for you to focus up on these quests as soon as possible. On the left hand side by my coins, you will notice that I have something that says 100 times. Every single time that you complete one of those quests, it is going to increase the multiplier of your coins. I want to say that in total there's maybe like 8, maybe 10 quests. There really isn't a lot of them. And once you're already at roughly around 60 to 70 times coin multiplier, every quest after that point is going to give you a ×2 plus 5, if that makes any sense. So instead of that being ×1 5 times, it'll be ×2 5 times. The faster you can get yourself to 100x, the better the game is going to feel for you, because you're going to have a lot more money to go ahead and play around with the entire talent tree. And it's going to be really important to do that because it'll be a huge game changer. Now, if you're fairly new in the game, we're going to be transitioning over now to the talent tree and talking a little bit about this, because we are going to go back to the coins at some point here. But first, I have to get the talent tree out of the way, because when you first start off the game, you will basically have this little tiny section right over here. In my opinion, one of the most important things that you need to get out of the way first is make your way over to instant hatch, then to auto roll, faster auto roll, and then obviously hide rolls. This is going to be a huge game changer for you, because you'll finally get that pop-up out of the way. And then to really spice things up, you could go ahead and get turbo auto roll. But then once you've gone that far, I would suggest that you hold off on the rest of these, make your way back over here. And at this point, you really have two options. You can either go ahead and solely depend on not really making too much progress in your skill tree by going into the luckier tab over here, focusing first on getting lucky pets, because this is extremely important. Reason for that is because the moment that you go ahead and roll a pet that's a 1 in 100 and you equip that pet, it'll sort of work as a boost to your luck, and progressively over time, every single pet that you get that's a higher rarity will increase that luck more and more. So lucky pets as well as luckiest pets are extremely important to get at the very start. Then afterwards, you can go ahead and sort of backpedal here, grab yourself super lucky as well as lucky event. Now, if you notice in my case here, I am missing one thing, and that is glimmering. I do have enough to purchase it right now, which I am going to go ahead and buy it. The reason why I wasn't exactly in a rush to get that is because huge pets in this game are extremely difficult to get. They're a 1 in 1 billion chance, and shiny pets as well as glimmering, which is sort of just a upgraded version of shiny pets. Instead of it being a 1 in 100, it's a 1 in 90. These can only be obtained in the huges. So unfortunately, no other pet in the game besides huges can get shiny. So that's just something that you want to keep in mind when you do get to this point, because these are extremely expensive. Shiny pet, I believe, is like 50 mil if I'm not mistaken, and this one was 500 mil. Now, after that point, you could pretty much go at whatever pace you want. The only thing that I do highly suggest is that once you've made a decent amount of progress, make sure that you come over here to the potions tab specifically. And what I want to point out is over here on the far left side being the cocktail. Once you're able to get your hands on this, it is an absolute game changer for everything. To unlock that, it is a total of 50 million coins, which again, if you've been following along with me, you completed all of your quests. And actually, before we leave the talent tree, there is one other one that I want to show you guys being under leveling over here. If you make your way over to the right side of the tree, there is a section where it's all about friend boost. Specifically, the one that I want to point out is the worldwide friends. This one includes any friends playing, even if they aren't in your server, and you get a multiplier. Also extremely important. Keep in mind that you are earning money not only by obtaining and breaking all of the breakables, but you're also earning money every single time that you roll a pet. So if you notice, I'm currently not moving, but I still am earning an absurd amount of money. Now, of course, don't get me wrong, there is other really important stuff inside of the talent tree, which I'm sure a lot of you are going to point out, such as relics and upgrading your eggs and all of that stuff. Of course, that is extremely important, but what I am primarily focusing on right now is helping those of you get pretty much the most amount of money, because at the end of it all, the end game is really considered end game once you've completed your entire upgrade talent tree. Now let's assume that you've gone ahead and spent the 50 million coins and you purchase yourself the cocktail from inside of the upgrades menu. Two things are going to go ahead and happen once you do that. Number one, you will now finally be able to go ahead and craft cocktails, which, to be 100% transparent with you guys, the recipe for this is absolutely absurd. It is going to take you quite a bit of time, as well as quite a bit of grinding over on the index shop, which again is one of those things that is pretty important over on the talent tree, but it's just something that you're naturally going to end up getting as you're unlocking things inside of the tree. But there is absolutely nothing else in this game that is more important than the cocktail. Now, unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to give you guys the exact stats, and the reason for this is because it doesn't exactly say what the exact stats are, but what we do know right off the bat is that it increases your luck by an absurd amount, and most importantly, like I said before, it increases your cash by an insane amount. There's been some predictions that it's about a 4 times multiplier, but some have even said that it's up to a 10 times. It all sort of just happened so quickly for me that I really don't exactly know how much it is. I'm sure that if I sat here and probably did the math, I'd be able to figure it out. But if I'm going to be 100% transparent with you, I haven't even bothered doing that. I just know that you make an absurd amount of money. Now, there is multiple ways of being able to obtain the cocktail. You can go ahead and get it from the index shop. It is an extremely rare drop chance, and you can also get it as a level up reward and even from some of these breakables that are around the map. During my AFKing last night, I went ahead and got 2 of them, which is a huge surprise to me. I was not expecting that. And on top of that, I was also able to get my hands on a couple of instant lucky 3s, which is also a pretty important thing to have for the moment that you do have a cocktail. Now, for the sake of this video, I will be using one of the cocktails just to show you guys a quick little run of how insane this is and just why I believe it is so important for you to be able to get your hands on this as soon as possible. But if we take a look here, for the most part, I'm earning about a couple of thousand. It usually doesn't even reach 100,000 before it actually does reset again. If we go ahead and sort of focus here on all of the breakables at the same exact time, we'll start making a lot more, but it's definitely a little on the slower side. If you notice here, we're sort of just going through everything as quick as possible. We're already at about 300k almost there, when in reality, if I had the cocktail activated, we'd probably already be somewhere in the high millions. But there you guys go. Right there, we're about $500,000 right now. Now let's go ahead and let that reset. And what we're going to go ahead and do now is pop the cocktail. I'm going to show you guys not only the coin gain that we get from this, but also a little bit of a quick look at what kind of luck we also get from this. Oh my, what? So we just got a 1 in 1.3 mil. Let's go. I haven't even activated it yet. Now, before we go ahead and activate the cocktail, you obviously want to go ahead and make sure that you have at least 30 minutes of Lucky Potion V running, as well as 30 minutes of Coins Potion V. You definitely don't want to be running this without that. Also, make sure that your fruits are completely topped up, and then go ahead and activate your cocktail. Already off the start, we're literally not moving right now, and I'm already earning hundreds of thousands, and I'm literally not moving. Look at that, 800k, and I haven't even clicked on a single thing. It's actually insane how much the multiplier on this is. It really doesn't even make sense just how much you make. But even if you go ahead and include breakables, again, you're going to be making millions so fast. And this is exactly the reason why it's super important for you to not use your cocktails until you complete all of your quests and you have that 100 multiplier. We've only done about 4 or 5 breakables so far, and we're already basically at 2 mil. I've been seeing a lot of you reach out to me over on the DMs, and even some of you in the comments section telling me that, oh dude, yeah, the cocktail is super good. I just wish I had 100 multiplier. And I kind of feel bad because I really wish that some of you wouldn't use the cocktail until you get to that 100 multiplier. It's sort of just like a missed opportunity. And I also understand that as a free-to-play player and maybe somebody that isn't able to AFK for a long time, that one free cocktail that you're given once you unlock it, you sort of have to cherish that because it is going to be a little bit of time before you're able to get another one. But regardless, taking a look over here, we're now already at 6 mil. I'm telling you, man, it's a huge game changer. Yesterday when the game released, we actually discovered this during the live stream, and every single one of us was literally mind blown. We were pretty much debating on whether we wanted to spend the 50 mil on the cocktail. And at the end of it all, we ended up realizing that in just about 20 minutes, we had way more than 50 mil. So it was absolutely worth it by all means. And dude, we're getting some pretty good drops, even without doing the next portion that I want to show you guys. So I guess let's take the opportunity now to go ahead and transition to this next part, which has a little bit more to do with luck and a little bit less to do with money. So one of the biggest suggestions that I made over on the live stream is that you guys don't use your instant luck 3s until you have a cocktail activated, which is kind of funny because if you guys notice, the cocktail is still activated and we still have 2, which means that we actually ended up getting a cocktail throughout this entire, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? I don't even know what the timer is at right now. Oh, it's at 26. So in the last 4 minutes, we actually ended up getting another cocktail. So me doing this entire kind of demonstration was perfect. But anyways, back on topic here. The reason why you want to save your instant luck 3s is so that way you can take advantage of the multiplier that the cocktail gives you. You're free to do this however you want, but obviously the way that I suggest to do it is, again, make sure that you have the luck potions activated, have your cocktail activated. Go ahead and also click on 1 rainbow dice as well as 1 golden dice. If you look down here, it actually stacks with each other. So it'll give you half of a rainbow and half of a gold dice. So these do stack with each other. Then for the third final thing is you click on your instant luck 3, and now you just go ahead and spin it and just sort of hope for the best. Obviously, if you have some friends in here, it'll be a lot better. You don't really always get the best thing in the world, but I'm sure that a 1 in 85,000 is actually pretty decent for some of you guys. But realistically, if you've made it this far into the game, that might not be the best thing ever. I'll go ahead and do one more just to sort of show you guys here. Maybe we get something good, although I highly doubt it. Dude, that was a 1 in 90 mil. Imagine that. That would have been crazy. That would have been a huge upgrade for me. But yeah, while you're doing this, you're also making a lot of money. Every single one of those, I think, was a mil. Not gonna lie, man, my intrusive thoughts are really wanting me to do it one more time. And I don't know why, but I'm gonna risk it just because something in my head is telling me do it again. So let's see what happens here. What are we gonna get? 1 in 35K. Okay, don't listen to your intrusive thoughts. Anyways, man, you just have to keep in mind that this is, at the end of the day, an RNG game. So there is no guarantee that you're going to be getting some really crazy drops. And that's sort of the reason why I didn't want to focus this entire video on just how to get like super rare pets and stuff like that, because I would literally just be lying to you. It is all luck based. If you saw my video yesterday, you saw that there was a guy that was able to go ahead and get the very first huge cat, even before the big whales that were spending hundreds of thousands of Robux. So that in itself is quite literally a perfect example of it doesn't really matter how much you spend or what you do. It's just kind of luck. Now, don't get me wrong. There obviously is the beautiful little dev product that allows you to spend tens of thousands of Robux that will give you a big help on getting some of maybe like the 1,000 pets, the tens of millions of pets. But as far as like the big boys, the huges, and the shiny huges, you're just gambling at that point, man. Now, I guess if there was one other thing that I would want to squeeze into this video, it is probably the fact that you definitely want to be hitting this as often as you can. Vending machine is going to be a huge help, especially when it comes down to having to craft more cocktail potions. I know that we've mentioned it probably 100 times in this video, but I would arguably say that this is by far the best item in the game right now, until obviously you get to the point where you just don't really need money anymore. But even still, it still is the best item in the game because it's going to up your luck by an insane amount, and it's going to allow you to really use a lot of your instant luck 3s and really get the absolute most from it. Now, for the most part, man, that is pretty much all I kind of wanted to share for today's video right now. I'll more than likely have another one up later today. Either way, that's pretty much going to go out in there for this video. I'm gonna get back to the grind here, make a lot more money for the next 20 minutes or so that way I can start buying some of these hoverboard skins. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. But like always, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.